Hello, Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome back to this very important class. This is especially dedicated to the students of class 12th. We are going to discuss some very important points with reference to poetry, and particularly in class 12th. My today's poem is After Apple Picking. It's written by Robert Frost. I hope most of the students might have seen my class through DDK, where I discussed this poem. Almost we analyzed it, interpreted it there. And today I have decided to talk about two very important points that are in this very poem, right? For example, symbols, right? It is symbolism, and we'll be talking about imagery in this very poem, right? So, because this poem is full of symbols and imagery, that's why we need to understand how poets use and how we can create or how we can interpret language full of symbolism or imagery, right? And this is why poems are hard to understand. If you are masters of these terms, symbolism, imagery, that means it will be easy task for you to explain or write a poem in your own words. Okay, and so that is actually the point. I thought I must talk about these 2 points with you today, right? So what is symbolism? Yes, very simple. A person, object, event, action suggests more than it is literal meaning. That suggests more than it is literal meaning. That is symbolism. Very simple. For example, white in Western culture. Color white in Western culture, it is always a symbol of purity. In Western culture, white is symbolized as the symbol. In simple words, it is the symbol of purity, right? Take the example of Nelson Mandela, the African president, right? Nelson Mandela. He's also the symbol of anti-apartheid, right? The difference of caste, creed, and color. So he's a symbol who stood against to that concept, and he's a symbol of anti-apartheid. So likewise, you have symbols in after apple picking, right? And there are a good number of symbols in this very poem. For example, there is ladder, apples, barrel, winter sleep, dreams, trees, swaying, instep, arc, right? All of these are symbols in this very poem. And if you are able to understand connotatively the meaning of these very symbols, this poem will be just very simple for you to crack and understand. Okay, for example, if you take the example of ladder, what is ladder? Yes, very simple. It's just stages of life. Different stages of life. Today you are 10, tomorrow you'll be 20. Likewise, in old age and gone. Like, so that's it. And then we have apples. Yes, what's apples? Opportunities, aims, wishes, desires in life. Very simple. So it stands for that. Then come to barrel. It is, what is the barrel? Where you are putting your apples. That is the record of your account. It is the account, sorry, it's account of your deeds. It is a record of your deeds. Absolutely. And winter or sleep. What is that? Winter or sleep, dear students, is a symbol for death. Right? So that's how you will understand this poem. Then coming to tree. Trees? Yeah, tree. Tree is also a very prominent symbol in this very poem. And tree stands for life itself. Okay? Great. And if you come to instep arc, it is actually the pain and struggle that you stand for, that you undergo when you want to achieve something in your life. Fine. Okay, let us move the another very important concept, and that is imagery in this very poem, right? There are again a good number of images in this very poem, and you know what's imagery? Yes, of course, the mental pictures. When you read the words, pictures are created in your mind, and that's imagery. Very simple. You have visual image here in this very poem, you have auditory image, you have olfactory image, you have tactile image, you have kinesthetic image, right? For example, if you go to the visual image, and what does these images tell us about the poem? Yes, very simple. These images tell us that the setting of this very poem, the poem has been positioned in some village. It's a countryside. It's an orchard. where you see a farmer. He seems tired because he has been picking apples. This is the literal meaning. But deep down, when you come to this connotative meanings through symbols, you will find something different. I have talked about that in my one of my lectures, but today I am just talking about these two important literary devices. What makes a poem so difficult to understand? If you master these two things, images and symbols, it is so simple to understand the poem. For example, images like tree, barrel, trough, hoary grass, cider apple heap, when you read these words in the poem, so these are all visual images. So you visualize an orchard where there is a farmer, there is a tree, there are apples, there is a barrel, there is a heap of apples, there are some apples which have some problem, they are rotten, right? And they go to cider apple heap, like that. So that's about how images help us to understand poem. Then you go to another kind of image, that's auditory image. And what is auditory image? For example, you hear it is the sound image actually. And what happens? For a rumbling sound, load on load of apples, you feel a kind, when you read these words, sounds you through the perception, through the senses, you feel the sound and you understand that, you come very closer to that kind of environment where this poem has been written for. Then come to this olfactory, another very important image. What is olfactory? It resembles, it talks about, it touches, it incites the sense of smell. Olfactory is the sense of smell. Through smelling of something, we visualize that thing. So that's why it's called olfactory image. And the example from the poem is scent of apples, right? That you just see. Now try to focus on the scent of apples. Immediately the whole garden, the orchard of apples will be before your eyes, and you will feel the different kinds of apples, right? And the taste as well. Anyway, then there is the tactile image. And what is tactile? Tactile means where it is related to touch, again to your senses. When you feel the touch beneath your feet, that is, for example, we say my instep arch, my instep arch. For example, sorry, my instep arch not only keeps arch, not only keeps the ache, it keeps the pressure of the ladder around. So that is the touch. And then the final one is kinesthetic, right? Kinesthetic image is the final one, and I feel the ladder sway. So this is a kind of movement in your body. When you feel this kind of movement in your body, poets describe this as a, yes, kinesthetic image, where there is some kind of movement, right? All these images help us to decode the underlying, the interpretation of the poem, the different meanings of the poem. So it's very important to master imagery and symbols. And through this poem, today I try to tell you what are the images and what are the symbols in this very poem. अच्छी बात समझ आई ना? सो सिम्बल्स और इमेजेस पे अच्छे से मास्टरी करो, ताकि कल को अगर रेफरेंस टू द कॉन्टेक्स्ट या एक्सप्लेनेशन एग्जाम में आता है, इट विल बी इजी फॉर यू टू write that or attempt it, because you know all the symbols in the poem, you know all the images in the poem. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.